Live.
Are we? All right. Welcome to the Mortgage Coach Tuesday interview. Rain or snow or power outages, we are here to connect with you guys. I was supposed to have Wally Elderberry as our guest today, but Wally is sick in the hospital, so let's all wish him a speedy recovery. I checked him out on Facebook. He was not looking good, and he sent me a video yesterday saying, Dave, not going to be able to jump on tomorrow's call. So the topic of today's call, if we had Wally, was going to be how to build relationships with wealth advisors. Wally has been killing it with his past clients. He's been killing it for realtors for years, and now he's got a model that scales on how he gets business from financial advisors, CPAs, and we will be rescheduling that. So stay tuned for a Tuesday coming soon. We will have Wally, and he will be sharing what he's doing and how he's doing it. But you get Todd and I today. We do not plan to go the full typical hour of the interview. We didn't want to cancel this because we want to be available to answer any questions you have. And we also have some modern mortgage advisor training exercises we want to push everybody into. So we're going to talk about that for 15 minutes. But I do think, guys, if you are not asking us questions, we're probably not going to go a whole lot longer than 15, 20 minutes today, just because I've got power outages. I'm going on 3 days in Portland. Todd has weak internet, and our special guest today had to reschedule. So what's up, Todd? Thanks for jumping in last minute.
Not a whole lot. I'm just laughing because, I've got super weak internet and dogs barking really loud. The Airstream is parked in New Orleans here on Fat Tuesday. We're going to be heading out shortly to go check out all of the floats since they can't. They've got the French Quarter on lockdown. All the streets are closed, so they have all the floats parked in a park. And so we got passes to be able to go check that out. So we're super excited for that. But it's crazy, all this weather that everyone's having. So I'm super excited to be able to jump in, as always, wishing Wally a speedy recovery and happy to spend some time with you and the rest of our community.
Right on, guys. So first of all, if you have questions, Todd, are you in a place where you can monitor Facebook questions? I'll monitor.
I just got Facebook to pop up, so I'll jump in there now.
Okay, so any questions you have, whether you're on Facebook Live or in Zoom, Todd and I will get those to you. So I want to just kick things off around what are you doing right now to be the ultimate modern mortgage advisor? We broke down what is the modern mortgage advisor at our one-day action-packed Modern Mortgage Summit. We've been reminding folks and pushing folks to use that as a training tool every week. Also, I have been posting in our Facebook group weekly black belt training. So I want you to think about it. Black belt at advice, that's just one of 4 pillars to be a modern mortgage professional. To be a modern mortgage professional, just to remind everybody, you are an advisor. You use a mortgage coach and a link to give advice. You are using your point of sale with over 95% of your clients. You're using a link to take an app. You are using video strategically, and you're building a brand online, and you're a great leader. So those are the, I guess, 5 things. Todd, anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the biggest thing that I continue to see is everyone knows what they need to do, and the gap is actually, getting there, right? And so, I love the fact that you guys have continued to put up great weekly training. I've been pushing out modern mortgage advisor training as well. And I think it's just one of those things where if you're not spending time each week, scheduling jam sessions where you're actually working on these things, it's probably just not going to happen. And I never want to be the downer, but I think that you kind of always need that kind of slap on the side of your head, a little kick in the backside, and a reminder that you've got to actually you control your destiny. You guys know what to do. Dave's been having great interviews, providing great content in the roadmap. And I think you just nailed it once again, and we just got to get people to actually take action.
Yeah, so Todd, I can't remember the gentleman's name or who it was, but a new loan officer recently posted in the group, and they said that they had listened or watched all of the videos in the new loan officer playlist, which is a lot of content. That's quite a playlist. And they're saying, what else should I be doing? And so I'm going to give a list of those things. And then Todd, if you could be ready to give a list, whether it's a new loan officer or someone who's just hungry to be a modern mortgage professional. So first of all, it is our Facebook group and it is our YouTube channel. I would watch the playlist that you really resonate with. So you're a new loan officer. You said you already watched the new loan officer playlist. If there was someone like a Jeremy Forcier or Dan Keller or Denise Donahue, someone that you really resonated with, highly recommend you do a search. Some of those top leaders have a playlist, like there is a Jeremy Forcier playlist, but you can do a search in our YouTube and watch some of the interviews of that person. Do want to remind everybody, if you have not watched What's Your Rate, which was the most viewed interview of last year, where we asked a bunch of superstar loan officers, what's your rate? Must watch that video and probably watch it multiple times. And don't just watch it, like take notes, write, how are you responding to what's your rate? And it's not a linear response. There's multiple options. If you have not watched Scriptapalooza, which Todd, we need to firm up our date for Scriptapalooza. But if you've not watched the recordings of the Scriptapalooza, that's great content. And then, of course, if you don't have access to the Modern Mortgage Summit, so that you can literally train in there weekly, there's over 60 videos in the Modern Mortgage Summit. So make sure you have access to that resource. And of course, Win by Noon. If you are not part of the Win by Noon Facebook group, if you are not following Todd, then there's another opportunity for you. Todd, anything else you want to add to that for that loan officer that had that question?
Yeah, I think you crushed it. I think the biggest thing are those scripts, right? I think anytime that you can hear and model the scripts of the best, right? You want to memorize, then you customize it, right? And then you internalize it so that you can actually do those over and over again. I mean, that's definitely the best way to be prepared going forward. And you could just look at the top 10 videos from last year, right? Dave just mentioned the top 2, What's Your Rate, Scriptapalooza. And then I think even any of those next 8 videos are all great. And one of the unique things is there was actually a couple of other new loan officers, brand new in the biz in their first year, who were crushing it that Dave interviewed that made that top 10. And I think it's just a matter of, again, it's scheduling the time. I mean, one of the things that I continue to hear when I'm talking to my Win by Noon community is the struggle, right? I mean, the phone is ringing, realtors are calling, the market's hot. It's, such a great time for us all to be in this business. And it's how do you then schedule that time to learn? And, just saw it this morning. Jeremy Forcier posted a video. He was in the office at 5:30 this morning. Now, obviously, I don't want everyone to go out of balance, but that just tells you when the market is busy, the best are actually working harder. I always don't want to say necessarily working smarter because, getting up at 5:30, is not always the healthiest. But the bottom line, well, actually, it's healthy to get up at that time, but not in the office at that time. But I think the whole key is to be focused, right? When is it that you're your best? When can you actually schedule that time to learn? For me, it was always in the morning. I mean, that was really where I spent my time. I used to always laugh with, with Josh Metal. He's, the king of getting up early in the morning. And I knew if I actually wanted to connect with him, if I reached out to him between 4 and 5, I was most likely to get a response, because once he gets past that time frame, his day was just, crazy. And now he does such a great job of blocking that time off. But you'll always see that with the best of the best, the super producers of the world, that they have that time scheduled for learning. They've got that time scheduled to continue to work on their craft, and it's just not react. It's actually being, proactive as well. And I think that that's where, oftentimes I feel like I'm a broken record on that, but I definitely know that that when you can spend your time proactively learning, or even proactively just doing the things you need to do, that you're way better off. Hey, Dave, we got a great question on where's a good resource where we can see a range of different TCAs and examples to get insights from.
Yeah, that is a great question. And on our homepage of our Mortgage Coach website, there is a page called Black Belt Training. And within that page, there's just about every strategy you could possibly learn. And within each of those videos, or each of the links, not only will you, if you could go to our actual Facebook group, or not, excuse me, Robert, our website, Mortgage Coach, and then once you go to Mortgage Coach, we're walking you through it, and we'll put a link in chat for this. I think it's under Lender Services, Nope, the next one. Connect, go to connect. Oh, there it is, black belt. Yep, you got it, black belt training. Boom, go to black belt training. And within each of these strategies, there's not only a video, click on that one with Amber at the very top. Yeah, click on that. So you'll get an actual interview of a top producer. So you'll get the sales strategy, and then you'll see Amber's refi TCA. So every one of these has a sample total cost analysis, and it has an interview to support the strategy. So hopefully that helps, and it's just another resource for black belt training. Robert, if you can stop sharing the screen real quick. And let's see here. Corby, we promoted you. Oh, I was going to promote you, but it looks like you went back to attendee. If anybody does want to raise their hand, come on the virtual stage and either ask a question or share an idea, just raise your hand and we'll bring you on this virtual stage, because this is a little last minute fireside chat.
I like that fireside chat. That's what we all need on a day where there's icicles outside. I think it's great. Again, it's a testament to the resources that are out there. I think that, again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel right now. You just need to actually, swipe and adapt what someone else is doing. And I always feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck is, in the what to do, the how to do it. Certainly, the why to do it, right? You're trying to grow. And with the resources that are out there, you just need to actually spend the time to go seek them out. And you also then just need to spend the time to replicate it. So, especially with those TCA, that's just another great example. I still think the scripting piece is probably where most people would stand to benefit a little bit, is in those script reviews, especially with the topsy-turvy market we're seeing this week in bonds. Great day to be sending out rate watch to your clients to show them what's going on and encourage them to lock.
No doubt. Robert, if you can pull up your desktop again and let's show them the Facebook group. I had what I've been doing every Monday. I think I'm going on the 4th Monday, where I have been putting an assignment in and calling it an exercise. So you can see at the very top right there, if you can just scroll down a little bit, Robert, where it says, "Hey, community, here's today's training challenge." And this particular one was one of the top 10 videos of last year. If you could click on see more information, Robert, for that post right there with Denise Donahue, boom. And you'll see that we're giving you an assignment. We're giving you something specific that you can watch, something specific that you can do. And if you follow that little roadmap right there, you will be one step closer to a mortgage coach black belt. You'll notice that at the bottom has a tag on it called black belt training. So there's topics. You'll see it's Robert right in between the actual video and where the likes are. You'll see black belt training. Yep, right there. If you clicked on that, Robert, why don't you click on it? And you'll notice that every single training that we put into this Facebook group, where we think this is a very specific exercise that gets you closer to being that black belt mortgage coach, it'll have that tag. So you can scroll down. Last week, you can see we talked about Shayla Gifford, and she shared her perfect loan process or perfect pre-approval process. Week before that, we did the move-up analysis. So anyways, just make sure you guys are aware of this specific resource within our Facebook group. And Todd, we might want to start putting in some exercises and recommending some specific videos in the Modern Mortgage Summit. Community, what do you think of that idea? Is that something you'd like Todd and I to do? Todd or I to do?
We've got a couple of them that I've put out there, and definitely would love to get some feedback on which other ones those of you who've attended would like me to dig deeper on. I'll repost some of those in the group today, Dave, once I can get onto Facebook, maybe tomorrow. And because I do think that there's so many golden nuggets in there, and to have the opportunity to again learn from the best of the best who have not just one or two, but a handful of ninja skills that they were willing to share in that in the Modern Mortgage Summit. And then I'll dig in and continue to train and share on those so that the community can learn and grow as well. I love your idea of doing it on Mondays. I was doing mine towards the end of the week, so I'll move them up, make it an early week activity, and get people all through the week and the weekend to share and post what they did as well. I think we lost Dave, so I'll keep talking. Any other questions? I'd love it if you guys post them in there. It's oh, there he is.
And let us know. Do you want Todd to do that? Are posting these exercises useful for you? Because if it's not, and we're not getting a lot of feedback on it, we probably won't continue to do that. But if that is a feature in the group that you think is useful to either you or people that you lead, just let Todd know in comments down below. Like, Todd, we'd love to get an assignment or not. And if you guys do want me to continue to do what I'm doing, let us know what you think about that. And we are going to go into wrap up mode, just because if you guys don't have questions for us, we're going to wrap it up. Todd, have we got any new questions or any comments in either Facebook or?
I'm peeking in there. I'm still struggling on Facebook, so I don't know. Hey, Robert, we seen anything in there?
Nothing coming in yet, my friends.
Quiet crowd today, Dave. Quiet crowd. They must be wowed with our knowledge. I do think the beauty of it is when you're given an assignment like you're doing is it's tactical, right? You know it's something that has worked. There's proof of the community because so many people actually watch the video. And then the real question though is what are you doing with what you've learned, right? I really enjoyed our Friday call last week where we had Shayla on and Dan Keller and Alex Cook, and they really just talked about the fact that they decided just to do things. And I still think that that's where a lot of the struggle comes in, is we all want to do it. We all think we should do it. We just have to make the choice to jump in. I'm taking a peek here.
And I had a number of people reach out to me over the weekend that had watched that interview with Shayla, and a few of them had mentioned that they went and signed up for Bill Hillstad's Social Simple. If you are a mortgage professional and you want to build your brand and you want to use Facebook more strategically, this last Friday's mastermind was exceptional. Shayla Gifford shared what and why she's upping the ante with Facebook in 2021. So did Dan Keller, and so did Alex Cook, brand new loan officer, first year in the business, closed 111 loans last year. So George just put, for new loan officers, what are the top three things you recommend to getting your business off the ground? Todd, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I would jump in with a couple of quick things, right? We know that real estate agents want communication, right? Communication. And so I really think it's a matter of you up front deciding what is going to be your communication rhythm, right? I talk oftentimes, and you've heard other coaches in this community talk about having target day activities where you're going to pick, hey, this is going to be my update call day. Hey, this is the day that I'm going to call my clients who are pre-approved. This is my day I'm going to call real estate agents. And you find that the reason that that's a theme throughout all these different coaching organizations and a theme throughout Win by Noon is because that's what the best of the best do. And so first, I would just figure out what are you going to commit to from a communication perspective. Second is, Dave kicked off the call talking about what is it that modern mortgage originators do. And so I think it's making sure that you can check all those boxes, right? There's no doubt we're in the mortgage coach community, using a TCA instead of a fee worksheet is going to be, a huge differentiator. And then I think it's just a matter, after that, of deciding sort of what is going to be your unique value proposition. Are you going to be the person who gets out there and talks about the technical charts? Are you going to be the person who is like Shayla and really is just getting out there and telling her personal story? Are you going to be the person who is going to be like Dan Keller and talk about, people's finances and taking that approach to it? And I think it's just a matter then of designing out your unique value proposition, right? We've got our mortgage coach, our why worksheet that you can search this group for, that Dave and I created right when we created this group, years ago, and just figure out what is it that you want to stand for. That's probably where I'd start. Dave, what would you add in there?
Yeah, you are a mortgage coach, so you are armed with a total cost analysis. And when you're new in the business, ask people favors. So all your friends that rent, ask them, hey, I want to practice my rent versus own analysis on you. And it just comes, how many people can you call that will let you do a rent versus own? So instead of being a salesperson, you're just an information provider. and you're getting lots of reps and lots of practice. Every person that you know that's a homeowner, call them up and say, hey, I need your help. I'm a new loan officer, and I want to practice my total cost analysis on you. Now, if you are not brand new and you don't need practice, call up everybody you know and offer to do a total cost analysis for them. Call up everybody you know and offer to do a rep versus own. But in your first few months, call people and ask for help. I think Jeremy Forcier did a really nice job. Was it last Tuesday that I interviewed Jeremy? I don't know if it was last Tuesday or the Tuesday before, but my closing question to him was, hey, what advice do you have for new loan officers out there? And he crushed it. So that, for the new loan officer to ask that question, listen to that full interview with Jeremy Forcier. It was either last week or the week before. And I would listen to the whole thing. But really, if you just took what I told you now and what Jeremy told you, you're good to go. You just got to do the reps. You got to make the calls. You got to talk to people. And you need to deliver more value than just a transaction. You need to do a rent versus own. You need to do a total cost analysis. You need to do a pre-approval analysis. So hopefully that helps, George.
Hey, big shout out to Bart. He's been in the business 15 years and sent out his first TCA today, trying to win over a almost $600,000 purchase. So, high five to you. Nice job on that one. Corby was talking about on the Facebook page about the fact that the 10-year note, 200-day moving average breakthrough is impacting today's rates. Again, that's just, you're armed with knowledge, right? You can use Rate Watch and show people what it looks like, and you can be texting that out to your realtor partner so that they are educating their clients, and then certainly use it to, move your refi folks who are kind of stuck, over to actually get their loan in process and get it locked, certainly for having a poor day in that market for sure.
Hey, Bart, I'd be curious to know, how long did it take you to do your first TCA? I always, hear people, the first one is the hardest, and every time it gets faster and easier, but I would just love to know where you started on that.
I'll see what he says. He says he did send it out through Optimal Blue, so I'm sure he saved a little bit of time with the integration there. That's for sure.
Nice. Way to start with that integration. It's a lights out integration. All right, we'll see if we get any more comments. So Todd, anything else you would add? I mean, I do have a win by noon ad. I think if you're a new loan officer, you need to get in the habit of tracking everything that you do. Bart just said it took him 10 minutes. So it's only going to get easier from there, Bart. You'll be under 5 minutes in no time. But Todd, why don't you give some win by noon advice for new loan officers in the importance of tracking all their lead sources and all their activity?
Yeah, absolutely. One quick thing to throw out there too is, think about your, work in adversity, right? When you have a week like this week where we've got, guests who couldn't be here because of illness, guests who couldn't be here because of bad internet, no power, how are you equipped to adapt? But really when it comes to win by noon and the whole idea of recording activities, because activities lead to results. And so when Dave is bringing that up, what I tend to find is that a lot of people do track their results, right? How many leads they got, how many applications they got, how many loans they closed. And I would encourage you to add one in there, how many people you got pre-qualified, right? You actually issued that letter to, because I often find that people forget the fact that clients are infinitely more likely to actually use you to close a loan if you actually provided that pre-approval letter that they use to go under contract. And when people start focusing on that metric, as well as number of applications and that conversion from application to pre-qual to close, you'll notice that if you can push more of your clients who oftentimes get stuck, right? They didn't give you that tax return or that pay stub or whatever it was you needed to issue that'll be a defining factor. But when it comes to the front end of it, if you're actually recording the activities, right? How many people are you calling? How many people are you talking to, and how many people are you meeting with? Then that's really where the magic happens, when you actually can take a look back and see how were my numbers. So I've got win by noon users last year who were, anywhere from 25 calls to one closing. Had some people just under 20 calls who had more of our referral-based business who did a better job of their annual mortgage reviews, and then some people up in the 30s. But wouldn't it be nice to know how many calls do you have to make today in order to hit your closing goal for the end of the year. I also think it's really interesting because what people forget is last year was a lot easier year than this year's already starting off to be. No doubt this year's on fire, but I got a client last year who was at 25 calls to close one transaction last year. And right now it's over 35 calls to get a closed transaction. So because of the fact that he's monitoring the calls to closed, he can already see that there's a shift. He's going to have to work harder with a smaller pool, primarily because of the fact that inventory is so tight. And so it's really the whole idea of being able to say, okay, today, what am I going to commit to? What are my activities that I have to do if I actually want to get the result I want at the end of the year versus waiting until the end of the year, seeing the result, saying, all right, how did I get here? Hey, what could I have done differently to change? And by tracking weekly and looking at it weekly and then totaling it monthly and saying, okay, well, how am I trending? And then looking at it when we hit the end of the first quarter, that's really where the magic is going to happen. We're going to have this idea to know exactly what you're doing and what the results you're getting from what you're doing.
Love that. And guys, I've interviewed so many top producers. Every person that was on the stage at the Modern Mortgage Summit was among the country's most successful loan officers, and they all track lead sources. They all track their key metrics. And remember, in Win by Noon, you can also track how many total cost analysis you did per day, per week. And once you build the habit and you do it, it also makes work more fun. You're gamifying your work day if you can build that habit. So for the new loan officer, highly recommend you build that habit sooner rather than later. And there's no better place to start than Win by Noon. All right, guys. Any last questions before we go into wrap-up mode? And Todd, any last words of wisdom or assignments you want to give folks?
You know, I think the words of wisdom are, to take time, right? If you're in an area where power's out and you don't have a lot of calls today, then take that time to actually do a little bit of proactive learning, right? Or maybe just take that time to do a few proactive TCA annual mortgage reviews, right? See if you can't pull out a couple of loans. I'm noticing with my team right now, we still have a lot of people who did down payment grant loans a couple of years ago who have super high interest rates, and people who just refinanced or purchased at the beginning of last year, right before rates went down, and that those folks are still actually not haven't refinanced. And so I think that there's definitely an opportunity for you guys to jump in, take time if you're in an area that's going to have a little slower day, and take advantage of that and actually use it to grab a few more loans and or to learn a little bit more, to be a little more productive, to get more loans in the future.
All right, guys, we are going to go. Oh, here we go. Is there a digital version of Win by Noon?
We're working on it. Our app has been the thorn in my side, and so it's coming. I do have some folks right now that are testing it out on the Remarkable tablet, which is a cool, like paper-like writing tablet. So if you're one of those folks and you want to check it out that way, reach out to me, just todd@winbynoon.com. I'm happy to share that with you. But yeah, stay tuned. That's number 2 on our priority list for 2021 is to get the digital version up and running.
Yeah, and I can't see the full comment, but one person mentioned something about a total cost analysis, and a lot in his company don't use it. So guys, we track all the best loan officers in America, and 34% of loan officers that do over 100 loans a year use Mortgage Coach. Last year, we had our network of loan officers created 1.7 million total cost analysis that were viewed 5.5 million times. So we're making progress. Super grateful for everyone that does tune in to our YouTube channel, that does participate in this group, because you're helping us make change. My why and our biggest why at Mortgage Coach is, yeah, we want to help loan officers close more loans and be more successful, but we want to help families make better debt decisions. Most people retire with less than $100,000 in the bank, but because they picked the wrong mortgage or because they didn't use mortgages to build wealth with real estate, they miss a massive opportunity. And at Mortgage Coach, we want to change that. We want to help families make better decisions that help them build wealth with real estate, and do that in a way that gives you better conversion. It helps you close more loans. So Todd, unless there's another question, let's wrap it up.
Dave, I think it was a fun impromptu 30-minute session here today. It was great. Thanks everyone for asking questions. I always think that is really the premise of this community, is to be there to help you guys grow. And so thank you guys who asked questions. That was greatly appreciated.
And if anybody does follow Wally on Facebook, be sure to wish him speedy recovery. Stay tuned for when we get Wally back on the calendar to share exactly what he's doing and how he's building relationships with wealth advisors. That'll be coming soon. And guys, thanks for tuning in. Have an awesome day. And for those of you like me that does not have power right now, I hope we get power soon. Take care, everybody.
Good to see you guys.